my dear friends, and welcome to the Friedman Adventures YouTube channel. It's a beautiful Wednesday morning here in Southern California, and I can't thank you enough for choosing to spend some time with me. We've got a lot to talk about. The Channel Islands are the epicenter of some great white sea bass fishing, and the Endeavor and Tucker McCombs have done it again. We're watching them very closely here this morning. Also, we'll have an update on how they have been doing. White sea bass, halibut, lings, and so much more. We're also watching very, very closely the bluefin tuna situation. It has been tough now for several weeks. How's that going? Any improvement? We'll have that for you also. We are watching Ensenada. Just talked to a pangero a second ago, Foca. He's on his way out to see if those yellows want to bite today in the Ensenada Bay. And of course, the rockfish bite has been spectacular. The surf fishing bite has been coming on, and we've got that and so much more. You know what time it is. It's time for the morning briefing. Good morning, my friends. Oh, I will be back on my beach with my USA Cup tomorrow. I've already gotten a ton of messages. Where's your USA Cup? I got to have a travel cup, don't I? I definitely have to do that. Hit that like button. We really appreciate it when you do that. Share these videos with a friend and subscribe to the Friedman Adventures YouTube channel and pound on that bell so you'll be notified later today when there's a sea bass bite or a bluefin tuna bite. Breaking news, content, new content, you're notified when you tick the bell. Also, follow us on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Apple Podcast, and Spotify. We deeply appreciate it if you're able to do that. So let's get into it with you all. We've got a lot to talk about. First of all, a couple of great trips on the El Patron out of Long Beach sport fishing. I want to mention to you right up front, they are going April 28th and 29th, Sunday the 28th. You can go for $145. Only 22 anglers on these trips. And then on Monday, $125 to Catalina Island. Make sure you book with Long Beach Sport Fishing. Got to go to the Channel Islands and start there. Normally I start Mexico, but I got to talk to you about what has been going on up there. Anthony Amalfitano, who is a superior member of the Friedman Adventures family and does so much to make this channel successful, went up there, jumped on the Endeavor, got his white sea bass, so he had his limits. It's one per rod right now. But he said, Phil, these guys on the Endeavor, they don't stop. They're not happy with limits of white sea bass. We went and caught giant lings and big halibut and so much more. What a great trip, Anthony was telling me. And it's the second day in a row that Tucker McCombs, the great captain of the Endeavor, has had limits of white sea bass. Dropper loop, perhaps the best way to get a bite when you're fishing with live squid, dead squid, when you're fishing with a sardine. And that goes for the halibut also. Tucker McCombs is a big proponent of fishing dropper loops. Some guys will catch them on those twin tail flukes. Those white tails work pretty well, especially if you have a bait problem. So bringing that along is not a bad idea at all. Tremendous signal up there. Now, also up there at Santa Barbara Sea Landing, 3 days in a row with limits of white sea bass. So the sea bass bite is on, and that is definitely the best bite we have going on. We are going to get some weather up there this weekend, and perhaps even on Friday. We'll continue to watch that for you very, very closely and see where this all goes. But now is the time to strike. When the iron is hot, man, you got to jump on this thing. And we've seen nothing short of great fishing. I'll go back to the Channel Islands in a minute, but let's go south of the border and talk about Ensenada right now because there's been some really good yellowtail action inside Ensenada Bay, but it is inconsistent. It bites for a day, doesn't bite for a couple of days. It's been up and down here recently. When you get on the right jag of fish, you'll see a bunch of fish under the birds. You toss an iron, take a wind or two, and you're on. And they're nice fish. There is some 10 to 12 pound yellows running around there, but there's a lot of this 15 to 20 plus pound yellowtail for the Ensenada pangeros. One of those guys is a guy named Foca, a really dear friend, become a dear friend pretty quick. And he runs out of Botes Juanitos. He's in the area right now. I just talked to him a moment ago. He said he's seeing some birds pick around, but no yellows so far. But we will update you over there on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, if anything happens. And in post-production for the morning briefing, if I get some word, I'll put it down here in text for you that he's bit or not bit. But it's been very good down there on both surface and yo-yo iron. And trolled rapalas have been really good. Now, if you strike out on the yellowtail, there's been a flash of barracuda around, those big bonita, and plenty of rockfish also. And once again, that incredible catch the other day of a silver salmon off the rocks by an angler. I don't suspect you're going to catch any silver salmon, but a salmon in Ensenada is a pretty rare catch. A lot of people talking about that one. So we'll continue to watch out for you very, very closely. Don't forget, it's tax season, and you want to go to the very best there is, and that is Tim Marquez from A Best Income Tax. Give Tim a call today. And for your heating and or air conditioning needs, you want to go to John Lopez, Efficient Heating and Air Conditioning. Those two guys will put you at the top of their list and take really good care of you. I guarantee you that. Bluefin tuna. Whoa, it's been an excruciating couple of weeks. Let's just look at the whole picture here for a second. We started out the season with some early season great fishing on giant bluefin tuna. And then we had some weather, and we were in for about 6 days and kind of lost track on where the bluefin tuna were. And then guys started to go out and started to look and weren't finding much of it. And that's where we find ourselves right now. 3 weeks into this, about where the best score in the last 3 weeks has been the American Angler with 22 bluefin tuna. Next to that, I think maybe a score of 6, something like that. Here recently, guys have been picking a fish or two, and now they're just not seeing all that much bluefin tuna. So it is a trying time for offshore fishermen in San Diego right now, no question about it. In fact, the Royal Star, I just spoke with them a moment ago. They're on a 3-day trip departing. They're not going bluefin tuna fishing. They're going to stay on the coast and fish yellowtail and see if they can get in on a good yellowtail bite, because there's been a lot of yellows around. I'll talk about that flow of yellowtail in just a moment. So that gives you an idea of where we are on this bluefin tuna thing. Some guys, I guess, are still going to go out there and take a look around. Some of the long-range boys have got to give it a look and see if they can't get it to bite or just find some really big schools of it. But spotter planes and the boats out of San Diego are having a very difficult time. Now, I mean, some of you say, okay, yeah, it's April, big deal. August, we're going to be looking back at this and laughing when it's wide open bluefin. And that certainly could be the case. However, in previous years, we've been able to find this stuff in December, January, other times when the boats got out there, they were in most cases able to find it. We'll see. Maybe it'll pop up and just go wide open. But right now, pretty darn tough on the bluefin tuna. We'll keep watching it for you. Hey, I got to mention to you that once again, on the yellowtail, we've seen good yellowtail fishing down in San Quintin. So there's good fishing now. That's where Ponguero's down there. So it's hard to tell on the volume, but that's 140 miles down. Up there at Collinet, you get the occasional yellowtail. And the other day on the Excalibur, my son Philip was on board. They had 6 or 7 kelp patty yellowtail. That's a very good sign. Maybe the Royal Star will come up with some of that today, and then we get you to Ensenada. There's been some yellowtail. Mark Paisano Jr. seen yellows out there at San Clemente Island. There's a little bit around, and in some cases really, really good. That yellowtail that the guys out of Ensenada are fishing is inside of Ensenada Bay, and sport boats are not allowed in there. So those guys have had the best of both worlds. And it's easy to tell why all that yellowtail is in there, because you've got warm water in there. It's been as warm as 62 degrees, and some of the coastal regions have been like 57 degrees. So we'll continue to watch it. Hopefully it's going to head in the right direction. Good signal on the halibut in many different areas, primarily the Channel Islands, though. It's been spectacular. Private boaters have been having at it on the big halibut. Those two kids the other day, Juan and George, fighting a big halibut. That was a lot of fun. KJ from Mag 12 Swim Baits, he had some good fishing. And of course, the Endeavor's been in on it, and the Aloha Spirit's been in on it. Out of Cisco's in Oxnard, they've had halibut out of Santa Barbara Sea Landing, and also the Pride out of 22nd Street Landing. There's a good amount of halibut spread around right now. But the better fishing seems to be up there in the Channel Islands. We'll continue to watch that for you very, very closely. Don't forget about Ventura Sport Fishing, where you can jump on the Island Spirit tomorrow and load up on rockfish. Same thing with their all-day boat, the Californian. Those guys have been putting the wood to some really nice, big, fat rockfish. And also the Endeavor is out of there. He's had a few spots open on open party trips, and he has been cranking on the fish. 805. 676-3474. Get on out of Ventura Sport Fishing with the guys on the California and also on the Island Spirit and Endeavor. They're doing some really great stuff. Rock fishing, I don't know. It is spectacular. Now, I know there's a certain segment of our population out there who would rather, watch paint dry than catch rockfish. I'm not one of them. It's probably my favorite kind of fishing. I just love it. I like the mystery of it. I like feeling the head thump, when you're winding up. I like feeling how heavy it is. And of course, the table fare aspect to it all, some of the finest eating fish in the sea. It's been fantastic. The Fury just putting the wood to the bottom fish out of Dana War sport fishing. I've had some great fishing. Same thing for the El Dorado fishing San Nicolas Island with sheephead and whitefish and so many other really nice rockfish. It's been spectacular. And I'm just giving some examples. You pick anybody. The Amigo's been doing the same. The Freedom with some good fishing. Both those boats out of 22nd Street Landing. Enterprise, City of Long Beach, up there in Redondo. They've had some great trips out of Marina Del Rey. The rockfish bite, tremendous right now. You'd be silly not to take advantage of it. It really has been fantastic. And Catalina Island, as we mentioned a moment ago, the El Patron has been going there on a regular basis, and they've been doing really, really well on not only rockfish, but a mix of other stuff. There's some big bonita running around there. There's some barracuda. There's been a few calico bass, mostly rockfish, but some of that other stuff. The Pursuit, same thing out of 22nd Street Landing in San Pedro, working so hard on a daily basis to provide their anglers not only with tons of rockfish, but keeping the surface fish in check, going in and checking the kelp line, seeing if there's a bonita or a barracuda or a yellowtail. I had a yellow the other day on the Pursuit, or a white sea bass. One of these days it's going to go, and one of those guys is going to be right on top of it because of hard work, and they are checking that in addition to everything else. In the surf, don't forget about Big Fish Bait and Tackle in the beautiful city of Seal Beach, California. Drop by there and pick up your bait in the morning and catch some fish right after that. We're in a grunion run right now, so there's grunion on the beaches. Uh-oh, I got a dog competing with me. There's grunion on the beaches, but also we can continue to see a lot more predators chase that in. Halibut, an occasional nice big yellowfin croaker, barred perch. Man, look at Jorge Velasquez, good friend of mine, fishing up there in Santa Barbara with that giant barred perch. Looks like on a Lucky Craft lure. Those big perch love to bite on that. So really good fishing from the border all the way up. I'm talking about the Mexican-American border all the way up to Ventura. It's been fantastic. Barred perch still in the picture with this cooler water. Yellowfin croaker, spotfin croaker like to bite on the bait really, really well. And we have seen some good halibut catches in addition to all of that. All right, my friends, it's always great to spend time with you. I can't thank you enough. We're hoping somebody's going to find that bluefin tuna. I'm hoping that Tucker McCombs gets me now in post-production so I can put down their third day in a row for limits of white sea bass. That would not surprise me one bit. Have a great one. Don't forget Friedman Adventures trips. You can join us on a trip. We've got some great ones, including a reverse 2.5-day trip on the Apollo in June. You tell me that does not have halibut, white sea bass, rockfish, yellowtail written all over it. Leaving at 10 in the morning, we can be just about anywhere we want to be, where we need to be on that first day's fishing. It should be a great one. Text me if you'd like to get on that trip or any other trip with Friedman Adventures. I'll send you the entire list. All right, have a great day. And as always, I hope to see you really, really soon.